All right, what's up, everybody? We are on episode 7 of Death Note called Overcast. What can I say getting started here once again on another episode, man? It's like I'm loving this show so much. I think I've made it very clear. It's totally up my alley. All the themes, just the characters, of course, that we're getting introduced to, especially last episode, of course, with the real formal reveal of L, I guess, and seeing his sort of personality traits and, the way I've been calling him like a basement dwelling nerd in a good way. Like, I don't mean anything by that, but it's exactly the image that I'd already painted of him in my head. Like seeing a couple teasers of him, of course, but also just realizing that he was that kind of person who was able to like solve so many things on his own and figure out what exactly Light was doing and what the information that he knew about the case was telling him about Light. I just figured he had to be some type of unstable genius, I guess, right? And it's exactly kind of, how the what they're picturing him to be, but he very much still has that typical super nerdy side, which was, again, totally to be expected. But yeah, at the same time, it's like the one thing that I will say about Death Note so far is that I find myself, on one hand, therefore being incredibly excited to get into just watching another episode, but at the same time, it's that same thing that I had going on with Attack on Titan, where it's also like a little bit daunting, right? Because you just know that this show moves fast. Line after line of dialogue gets thrown at you. Again, episodes are only 20 minutes, but it's a lot of information to take in. Scenes go by very quickly, a lot of characters that we're following, a lot of intricate details that you do have to definitely pay attention to. At the same time, of course, I'm trying to give my input for the reactions, and I'm trying to really like keep control and keep overview of everything that's going on. It's a challenge. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess. Now, I like a challenge. Again, I think I even said that already before, but yeah, definitely just what I've generally been noticing. Now, what else can I actually say before we get started here on a new episode? So yeah, last episode, it was essentially consisting of two main parts, I guess. So on one hand, of course, we had the police force, the remaining people left there, I should say, getting introduced to L and starting to, work together with him on tracking down Light. Yeah, and at the same time, of course, there's Light very much trying to keep a secret intact. The part that he keeps talking about that he does not want the police actually to find out about is him being able to control his victims in their final minutes before death. So that's the thing, of course, like they don't possess that piece of information yet about that he actually could, he could write down essentially what they had to do before they died. And he very carefully set that up too, in a way. I feel like I didn't even fully catch on to that until I started rewatching it and stuff through my edit, and I got some comments from people on Patreon once again, which I'm really thankful for. But yeah, he had been super carefully doing that, where he did still make all these victims of his die of heart attacks, so that police would never really be able to find something like that out, right? However, I think there's now then there is now then that situation with the bus accident where that person did not die from a heart attack. That person actually got killed by a car or whatever that passed by. And he figures that like, oh, that way if they did know about that, they could track it down to like, oh, Ray was there on the spot or something, right? And I'm still not sure exactly how that worked, or like if Ray actually told the police about what happened in that whole incident, or if he just told his wife or girlfriend or whatever she was. But yeah, that's kind of the question, because that's the thing. The wife at the same time is the other part at play here, where like she does very much realize what actually happened there, and she does have that theory of like, oh, Kira, whoever is responsible for all these deaths, he can actually also control them, and he can decide how they die and stuff like that, which would get the police to be able to track down Light quicker, I assume. So again, it's like the chess pieces are very much at play here, and I wonder where it's all going. I was a little bit surprised last episode by how Light still handled that situation at the end, where he's essentially just gaining the trust of this person now, and he was essentially saying like, oh, I'll pass the information down, you don't need to do anything, but surely he still recognizes that she is very much a threat to him. So I was surprised that he didn't kill her on the spot. At the same time, I figured later, I guess, that like, well, the police or some people at the front office desk or whatever, they did see them together, I guess, in that scene, right? So it would be very suspicious if she ended up dying knowing that he just had a conversation with him. So maybe that's the reason why. But again, like, I'm still I always second guess myself about like, oh, what am I not catching on to here? Is there something I'm not catching on to or not, or is there not? Again, like it's it's a lot of food for thought, a lot of stuff to think about, but what a great show it is already so far. So we are just going to get into this new episode, of course, but do let me quickly point out that if you enjoy my reactions, you can, of course, already watch the next 8 episodes right now if you want. That means that we will actually be on episode 15 already over on my Patreon, which is linked on top of the description, of course. And over there, you can also, if you want, watch the full-length reactions if you want to see me react to these episodes in their entirety. Of course, you can interact with me and, give me some extra information or something if you want. Yeah, all of that is very much appreciated. And of course, your support actually makes me able to make these videos in the first place. So I very much appreciate it. That being said, we're going to dive into episode 7 called Overcast. Here we go. I assume that actually the girl that we see here in the intro is not the same girl as like that we're dealing with now, right? Oh, I think this is her actually. Yeah, I guess we're still gonna meet her later on. Oh, it's actually, wow, I noticed now how they're picturing Light with the red hair there. Actually, they might have done that even last episode or something. Red and then L was blue. I wonder if that's kind of supposed to represent good versus evil then, or... Okay, we're just following up. So we could still kill her. You are screwed. Okay, well. I guess my prediction wasn't far off. He's just gonna like set up a meet. Yeah. Of course you have. He's gonna invite us to some place. What is Ryuk looking excited? What the hell? She commits suicide without anybody finding her? Damn. Is it like, is that not possible or something? Or what is Ryuk laughing about? Well, he knows the rules. Light doesn't fully. I'm glad you figured that out. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. I thought he had actually set them on him without them realizing it. He has his own one on, yeah. Oh shit. Okay, she only got more convinced. Damn, dude. It's sadistic as fuck. But I guess it won't happen. Otherwise, Ryuk wouldn't be laughing, yeah? He's so caught off guard. Okay. So what is the exception? Just go ahead and tell. God damn it, Ryuk. Yeah, no shit. He was... Oh my god. Oh! She didn't give her actual name. Damn, that's smart. See, I mean, she's not... I figured she wasn't that, like... Okay. Watari is actually an old guy. Hadn't figured that. Badges. Also with aliases, maybe? Oh, Ryu could literally tell. Yeah, okay. Man, so smart. That's, yep, super, makes a lot of sense too. So does he now, like, is this where he gets the eyes? He has to, right? He needs an upgrade. But that would mean cutting his lifespan in half. He really is starting to panic. Well, I guess those are other options. No chill. I love how it's just going through a whole thought process. Yeah, exactly. Love it. It's no different than putting on contact lenses. Yeah, I mean, it is quite a sacrifice to make.
偽名の警察手帳。警察が偽造しようというのは。いや、キラが殺人に名前も必要な。
Is that like illegal?
偽名は我々の命を守るために大いに効果がある。これは持っていた方がいい。ええ、そう思います。
I mean, you gotta do what's necessary, right? But
外でどうしても名前を出す場合は。
he can figure out other tactics nonetheless. I'm sure of it.
このベルトを皆さんにつけていただきます。
ベルト？
Okay, is this gonna be some like James Bond gadget shit? Or tracking device? Ah, okay, okay, okay. For emergency purposes or? Ah, okay. Yeah.
なんかキラを追う特殊部隊って感じでかっこいいですね。松田、子供の遊びじゃない。浮ついたことを言うな。はい。本当にありがとうございました。
Well, it is a very serious task, but I can understand his excitement for sure. Well, I guess he really has no choice, right? Oh shit. He is just desperately trying to come up with anything so he doesn't have to take the eyes. He probably won't. He'll probably still find something then, I guess. They can always save it for later still.
実はまだ言ってなかったことがあって。
Here he goes with his high-pitched voice again.
あなたが本部の人に直接話をすることは、だいたい本部に誰もいないなんて変でしょ？
変だとは思いましたが。
操作している人間が一般人にもわかるような体制では、あなたのフィアンセを襲った悲劇と同じことが起こってしまう。
She'll find that understandable, I'm sure, yeah.
だから警察庁で本部に誰もいないと言われたんです。さすがうまいこと言うな、ライト。
So he's trying to not give her any options, but to speak the truth to him.
僕も捜査本部の一員だからです。
あなたが捜査本部の一員？
僕はまだ高校生ですが、過去に2件の事件を警察に助言し。
Oh yeah, the guy mentioned that too, so that's...
それを買われて。
That helps him.
捜査本部に出入りし、自由に操作することを認められています。
Ryuk really is just enjoying the show all the time. I love it. He's so not bored for once.
でもやはり念のため本部に行こうと思います。ありがとうございました。
What the hell? So does she not trust him?
ああ、そういえば今、警察庁の本部は今は誰もいません。それはまずい。交代で誰か一人はいるようにしてください。 はい。ここからならすぐ着きます。
マキさん、待ってください。エルに会うなんて不可能です。
もしかしたら会ってくれるかもしれません。
え？
パソコン越しにその声に従っただけですが、私も2年前にアメリカのある事件で
Okay, okay, okay. She has her own
エルに
history.
従ったことがあるんです。つい3ヶ月前まで
Yep.
私も FBI の捜査官でしたから。
これだ。これを利用するんだ。
Oh, shit, man. So now that he can use to figure out her name, maybe?
行動が素人とは違うと思っていました。
よくもそれだけ嘘を並べられる。
この事件は私なりにでもエルなら信じられる。
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, you can tell she's super experienced herself. She knows what she's doing.
姿を確認してもらえればエルに直接話せると思ったんです。
なるほど。しかし、なぜエルに話そうとしていたことを。
あなたにはエルに似たもの、近いものを感じたんです。
一緒に捜査しませんか？
え？
あなたも捜査本部の一員になりませんか？元 FBI 捜査官というキャリアがあり、
I really wonder if he's just gonna start using her now then.
以上だ。かつてはエルの
Exactly like I kind of theorized.
捜査本部に入る条件はしっかりした身分証明と今捜査本部にいる者の推薦、そしてエルの許可だけです。
Or if he's literally just distracting her not to go there now. I mean,
いえ、
that's obviously another possibility.
人には都合がありますからね。よし、ここまで来たらもう少し引いて。しかし、
Damn,
ま
man.
だお若くてお綺麗な方だ。こんな危険な捜査には。
いえ、私には捨てるものは何もありません。キラを捕まえたい。
よかった。
Oh my god, the dramatic camera shake and red glow.
見せてもらえますか？
実はさっき名乗った名前。
Oh shit, man.
ごめんなさい。
Damn, so now he knows that he definitely gained the trust.
あなたはやっぱりすごい人です。
日本の免許証でよろしいですか？
It's all fine. All we need is a name. Oh. What? Is this snow or what is this supposed to be? What this... Why are we seeing this? Oh shit, he's walking past them.
間に合った。
What is happening? What is this about? What is it?
なぜそんなに時計を気になさっているんですか？
これはですね、
No.
キラだから。
Shit, man, what is happening? Is she really just gonna turn away and like... No fucking way, she's just gonna like...
しなくてはいけないこと。
Yeah, oh my god, man, she's just gonna commit suicide now.
もう父と電話がつながりません。話さなくていいんですか？
Damn, this is so fucked up.
お話しすることはありません。
Oh, this is so fucked
さような
up.
ら、美空直美さん。
I don't know how to feel about this shit anymore, man. Oh my god, this is how you're gonna visualize it, really? This is symbolic, obviously, but, man. Man, I already don't know how to feel anymore. It's like the moral line that is being not just surpassed, but way exceeded already. Right now in episode 7. We're only on episode 7. And it's like all that I'm thinking about right now is like how much more fucked up is this whole thing going to get later on. Because again, we're like still early. We're still early, and the sheer acts that Light is committing here, it's like it just makes me feel all kinds of ways, and definitely not positive ways. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like the character here, Ray's wife, is somebody who, for sure, I've been able to sort of root for the most, right? Because she's done nothing wrong. She has this personal motivation, personal, clearly a vendetta now raised, basically that it sort of became, right? But understandably so. It was her husband who, you know, was who got killed, and like all that she wanted is to figure out who was behind it and bring justice to light. But so there was no reason to ever, you know, want to get rid of her. And this is exactly what I talked about, of course, with like how it's really hard in some type of ways to root for Light, and I don't think we're necessarily supposed to, of course. I'm sure there will be some of those twisted people who are always rooting for Light along the way. I mean, I still like him as a character, of course. I can separate those things. I can still like him as a character and find him fascinating, but then at the same time find a lot of the stuff that he does reprehensible, right? And that's definitely where I stand. And yeah, but I talked about it, how it wasn't just... Clearly, it wasn't just going to stick to like, oh, he's only killing criminals who have done a bunch of bad shit and stuff, right? He literally just wants to play God, and he wants to also get rid of anybody in his path who could possibly get him off of that, you know, like get him off of that position, I guess. So what that means is simply that, like, yeah, he will very relentlessly just get this woman here to commit suicide, and you see the... I guess that's really what the winter or the snow, you know, falling was supposed to represent. Like suddenly something shifted, and it's, you know, everything was getting cold, and it was going to happen. And you see that, like, he's even... I mean, that's the thing that I find the most reprehensible. But just like how he was taunting her there at the end, and just saying like, "Oh, what was that? Didn't you want to talk to my dad or something? Was that still something you were gonna say?" And she's just like, "No, I have something that I need to do now." And because it was like set in stone at that point, right? She was just, you know, again, she no longer had any control over what she was doing, and she just had to do what Light wrote in his death note there. And yeah, I don't know, it made me, like I said, fucked up in all kinds of ways. But I do at the same time really wonder... Like, I feel like there has to be something more to it. There has to be a significance to it, because otherwise this can't just be a dead end that's like, sorry, not a dead end, but like a loose end, I guess, that's just being resolved, because this whole storyline didn't have to be introduced otherwise, I think, right? Like, this story here with Ray's wife was completely separate from everything else. And so if there is no consequence to it, or nothing still that will tie back in now to the police force or whatever, then... yeah, then I wonder what was the point of it. You get what I mean? We did see that one guy surpassed them, and so that might have been for a reason. Then again, he didn't really seem to spot them. He wasn't saying hi to Light. Maybe he did see them nonetheless, but I don't know. That's what I'm gonna have to figure out. And again, like, there was that eyewitness, I guess, of somebody at the HQ, like a front office desk worker, who did see them together there. So maybe figuring out that she committed suicide can still lead them back to it, although Light very justifiably pointed out how, like, it will make a lot of sense that she committed suicide because her husband died. So again, I do wonder, like, what direction could it still go in? And at the same time, I guess, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the other part of this episode was just the setup for, like, the police force still working together with you know, with Elle, and they're getting their gadgets, and they're getting a plan set up, so I wonder where that's gonna go. The one other interesting, I guess, fact in this episode, or like event, is Light seriously had to consider for a little bit there whether he wanted to get those Shinigami eyes. And although he was very reluctant, of course, to do it already from the start, when it was introduced in like episode 3 or 4 maybe, he still managed to find a way, and I could kind of figure out that, I guess, throughout the episode, like, oh, he's still going to find some way to get her name and to win her trust. Because he seriously does not seem to want to do it. But it also tells me that, like, it's inevitable. It's going to happen at some point. And that point may not be now yet, but it will be later on. He's going to get those eyes. He's going to cut his lifespan in half. And again, very much then wonder, what does that mean for the show in itself? And I guess the one part that it makes me, you know, just sort of tying back into the intro, what I talked about, like, what it makes me a little bit more... stressed about or something, or like anxious, I guess, is like, oh, things are going to get really complicated from that point on, probably. Like, constantly these teams are playing into what they know about the other team, right? And so you saw that with the police force as well, how they were talking about the information that they possessed about Light, or about Kira, I should say, rather, and therefore not giving away their names, for example, or stuff, right? But maybe later on, again, they're gonna have to figure out, like, oh shit, now he can actually see our names nonetheless, and the badges don't make sense, and so they'll have to work with that again. So it's like constantly it'll be more and more information to keep track of like what are the potential things that Light could do as Kira. What is he still to figure out about the Death Note or something, right? Maybe extra rules that we don't know about yet. A lot of elements that could change the direction of the story a lot. It's very creative in that, and yeah, therefore the unexpected can always still happen. So I'm looking forward to the next episode, man. This was once again another fantastic watch. This show is just keeping up the quality, and that's really all that I can say for now. Of course, guys, if you enjoy my reactions, you can already watch the next 8 episodes right now over on Patreon. That means we will be on episode 15 for you to catch up towards right away. Linked on top of the description, of course, as always, along with full-length reactions if you want to see me react to these episodes in their entirety. But then with that being said, I want to thank you all a lot for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you back in the next episode.